Mr. Pieranti, it's very nice to have you here in the Slovakia. It's your first visit in the Slovakia.
Yeah, first one. Thank you.
And the goal of the traveling to the Slovakia or in the Europe or in the Middle Europe was?
Yeah, I'm here for my postdoctorate research. I'm researching public service broadcasting in Brazil and in Central East European countries. We have many similarities. Do you prefer to ask or can I go? Okay. We have many similarities between Brazilian situation and Central East European countries in terms of public service broadcasting. For example, our law mentioned public service broadcasting for the first time in 1988 in our constitution, federal constitution. You made your transition in 1989, in 1990. You came from a state-owned media to a public service broadcaster. You didn't create anything completely new. We also did the same process. We came, when we created effectively our public service broadcaster, it was in 2007, and we came from a state-owned media, state-owned TVs and radios, to public service broadcasters. So we too didn't create anything completely new. Also, you did this after a change of the government. You had an authoritarian government, a socialist regime, and you did this in the context of democracy. We did this in the same context. In the same context, Brazil was under an authoritarian regime until 1985, and then the Federal Constitution in 1988 brought this concept of public service broadcasting in our case. So we have many similarities, and we also have many similar difficulties, like how to preserve the principles of public service broadcasting.
Okay, by your visit of the Slovakia, do you have some meetings with the representatives of Slovak public media?
I will have. I didn't have yet, but I will have it today or tomorrow because I arrived yesterday. I still can't talk about this because, well, I didn't talk to them yet, but I will have, yes.
Also, by the question of Visegrad countries, Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia and Hungary, do you know the political influences at the public media in Poland? What do you say?
Actually, people whom I talked in these countries are always critical in relation to in relation to political pressure in the public service media. Many young boys and girls mentioned that they don't watch the public media in these countries due to their proximity in relation to the government. I'm not sure about it, about the real situation, but I can tell you about these opinions that I heard there. And in the previous countries where I was, Czech Republic and Poland, the market share of the public media was pretty high, around 30%. Yours is lower. I didn't talk too much yet about Slovakian public media, but the situation in these countries is that, as I told you.
When we talk about political influences, there are similarities between Brazil and Slovakia in the left-oriented political parties. Do you agree?
Actually, the government changed in Brazil in 2016, and the previous government from the left-oriented political party was responsible for for transforming the state-owned media to public service broadcasting. This was a goal, I think, in terms of objective, in terms of democracy, in terms of principles of democracy. It is important to have a public service broadcaster. So it kept a relation of independence most of the time, as far as I know, in relation to public broadcasting at that time. The government changed recently, so it's impossible to say how it will be. But the situation from 2007 to 2016, the first years of the public service broadcaster, the independence was pretty high of these kind of media. But the main point is political pressure can always happen in all countries. The point is that it's important to have a consistent public media to resist against these kind of pressures in all countries. and to have a consistent law to prevent this kind of pressure of having success in this pressure. And the main important point actually is that the society of our countries, of all countries, must know the importance of public media for them. Public media needs to be defended for everybody because it's for everybody. It's not a state media, it's not a private media. So if the society is not defending the public media, the situation will be much, much worse. You lived some situations here in Europe where the society effectively defended the public media, effectively were participating in this debate. This happened, for example, in Czech Republic some years ago. This happened in other countries too. So it's important that the society is working in the defense of the public media as an important mechanism to democracy.